Greetings, everyone. I'm Reverend Deborah Johnson, also known of as Rev D, and welcome. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries to our virtual Sunday offering. And I'm going to invite everybody to just take a breath. Take a breath. What a time we are in. Yes, indeed. If you are looking at this in real time, this is the first Sunday after the 2024 elections in the United States. And there's just a lot of energy going on out there. And I get it, and I can understand it. And for those who are particularly hurt and grieving and disappointed at the results, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I trust that there are some things that are covered here that will be of comfort, that will be things that you want to come back and listen to and pass along. I want to just acknowledge that. I don't like elephants in the room. And grief was never something that was ever meant to be done alone. That if you look at cultures across history and time, there's all kinds of rituals, there's all kinds of celebrations where people come together to experience whatever that is that they are collectively feeling. People also come together for the hope and for the joy and the visions of a brighter day. And that's what we're about, is spiritual community. We do it all. And I say thank you to those of you who participated in the vigil that we had the night after the election in conjunction with Temple Bethel. And for those of you who came by the Inner Light office for our watch party last Tuesday night, actually during the election. So let's just take a breath. We are here at Inner Light in order to uplift, to inspire, to remember who we really are. We're about healing and growth and transformation. At our core, we are all about letting our own inner light shine, tapping into that energy of love that connects, that unifies us all. We honor all the different paths that are leading to spiritual truth. We appreciate individualized expressions. All of you who are working towards social justice and sustainability, regeneration of the earth, towards new models and ways of us being together. We're here. We come from all different stripes and backgrounds and orientations and all of that. And yet there's only one of us here. And we celebrate that oneness. At Inner Light, we provide tools. We provide tools for living. And these tools encourage us to use universal spiritual principles in very practical ways. And I know at moments like this, when people are really groping to make sense out of their environment, to be able to find reasons that they can keep going, that they can stick with their joy and find some courage to keep carrying on. That affirmative activations are a real tool to help us reground and to stay centered. Every week, we offer 100 words. They are 100 words to help us recalibrate, to shift our perspective, to remind us of truth. They give us practices, they give us framing, and I invite you always to keep coming back to them. They do the most when they're grounded down in our souls. We believe things because we have repeated them to our minds so much. And now it's time for us to make sure that the things that are on repeat in our minds are actually things that are working in our favor, things that have us moving in the direction that we want to go. We don't want to be trending in our consciousness, things that we don't even want to see. So today we're going to be talking about reset after setbacks. Reset after setbacks. And if you are able to, I want to invite you to say the affirmations with me now as they appear on your screen. My center belongs to me. My essence cannot be stolen, hindered, or obliterated by anyone or anything. Like the stars, my light shines brightest in the darkness. I feel my feelings without being hostage to them. Even while grieving, I give myself permission to see beyond loss. I never let setbacks usurp my power. Problems never have the last word. I get back up when knocked down. I pull myself together when tossed around. A champion never quits the sport after a single defeat. Striving for excellence, the champion keeps getting better. My inner champion eagerly prepares for the next round. Just breathe that in. And notice if there's something that's calling out to you now. Maybe it's, I feel my feelings without being hostage to them. Perhaps it's my center belongs to me. Or I never let setbacks usurp my power. Problems never have the last word. Just breathe into it. Maybe it's even while grieving, I give myself permission to see beyond loss. So whatever that is, I invite you to come back. And as you're saying the affirmations, to really focus in on the ones that you're really resonating with. And also pay attention to the ones that you are resisting for whatever reason. They both have gifts, but you want to come back. Just breathe that in for a moment. Let it find a resting place in your heart. And to further help us prepare for the message, we're going to invite in one of Inner Light's friends and colleagues, Amy Steinberg. And we're going to look at her video, Get Up. Thank you, Amy.
In your head, play over and over, listening to doubt about how life has turned out. I'm here to tell you it's not over, not over. Time to rise again, it's what life is about. Yeah. leave it to see. Come on. Get up, get up, get up. I know you have it in you. Get up, get up, get up. I know the truth of you. Get up. You've been on the ground too long, singing the same old sad song. If you get up, I know you will carry on. Carry on. Carry on. Get up. This is your time now. Get up. Remember who you are. Get up. Come on. You are wise and you are strong. Always all right all along. You will get up and I know you will carry on. Yeah. Carry on. Come on. Carry on. Come on. Carry on. You will carry on. Get up. Yeah. Get up. You will carry on. Get up. Get up. Come on. Carry on. Get up. Get up. Get up. You will carry on. Carry on.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much, Amy. Let's just take a breath, huh? Yeah, we're talking today about reset after setbacks. Reset after setbacks. Now, with this being the Sunday right after the 2024 election, I know there's a lot of resetting that needs to take place for those who were so invested and hopeful and wishing for a different outcome than Donald Trump back in the White House. I know that it's really rough and tough. I also know that had the election gone the other way, there would have been just as many people or more who would also be feeling disappointed and hurt, disillusioned, angry. So it's not reserved about like one side or the other side. I'm going to be talking about life itself, and what happens when we have these quote unquote setbacks. So just going to hear me keep saying, like, take a breath. Take a breath. The reason why I tell people so often to take a breath, it's so they can access their higher self. When we get nervous or stressed or anxious, angry, we don't breathe as deeply. It becomes very shallow. That's why people have panic attacks. When they have panic attacks, their body doesn't have enough oxygen, and they literally have to like breathe into a bag or something to try to get that back in. Okay, when we're frustrated and we're angry and we're scared, we're dealing from the most primal aspect of our whole being, our little mammalian brain back there, the little reptilian, aspect, fight, flight, freeze. It cuts off when it gets really activated. It cuts off the access that we have to the frontal lobe, where creativity is, where kindness and compassion, where a sense of hope, transformation, good decision making, connectivity, all of that is up in the front, more in the frontal lobe. And breathing, stopping for a moment and taking a breath, it disrupts that pattern that we were on to just keep spinning out and spinning out in the back of our brain, and helps to kick us up to the front. Okay, it expands your capacity to be your fullest and to be your best. Okay? So it's not a commercial break when I say take a breath. It's not just to pause, but literally take a few breaths, and that'll help you recalibrate. That'll help you to literally reset. Take a breath. Setbacks. I don't know what Webster has to say about setbacks. I probably should have looked that up. But from my own experience, I would describe a setback is that time when you're in the situation, the circumstance, where things didn't turn out the way that you had expected them to. Not only did they not turn out the way that you had expected them to, but whatever it is that's happened feels like it's so contrary to what it is that you wanted or where it is that you wanted to go, that it feels like a step backwards, or a detour. There's a blockage, there's obstacles, and this can get really scary, particularly if there doesn't feel like there are any alternatives. If all of your eggs, so to speak, were in the one basket. If you were just so sure that it had to be this way or it had to work out that way. If whatever it was your center, your whole life was revolving around it. Your whole life was revolving around the fact that you were in this marriage. And suddenly you find yourself separated or divorced. You had your whole life revolving around this particular career or this business. And COVID comes along and, knocks that out. Your house burns down. The party gets in to the White House or in Congress that is the antithesis of the values and the things that you want to see. All of these things are setbacks. We experience a setback as a loss. And our human response to loss is grief. Okay, we go into grief. Now, grief has a lot of different stages, and these different stages happen at different times. It's not sequential. It doesn't have to happen in a particular order, and not everybody grieves the same way. But grief has stages, and I encourage you to really look up things about grief. Anger and rage is a stage of grief. There's denial. There's bargaining. There's acceptance. There are a lot of different stages, and we may go in and out of any of them at any time. Okay? And the other thing you need to remember about grief is that once we tap into it, then we tap into that vibration. So the things that happened to us a long time ago, that stuff will come up. Okay. When we have a setback, it feels like a sucker punch. Sometimes just like a blow to the gut. What happened? How did that happen? There's a sense of being like knocked down or laid out or thrown off your center. All of those things are things that we feel. And as we go into the grief of it, some of us are just mad. Some of us freeze. We're just in complete disbelief. And others of us may be trying to, hedge and, well, okay, I'm not really going to accept this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Just trying to manipulate everything around to prevent the inevitable from really coming forth. There are all these different things. Okay. So one of the first things that you want to do when you get and experience a setback is breathe. Is breathe. Okay. When we have a setback, we usually have to step back. When we have a setback, we have to step back sometimes for a moment so that we can see more clearly. We have to step back to breathe. But most especially, we have to step back for the self-care. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of times when we have setbacks, we want to we just want to just plow through. No. Sometimes we have to just step back, breathe. Okay. You regroup. There's nothing where the game just never has a break. Okay. I like basketball. And you can predict pretty much when the coach is going to call a timeout. If they're on the court and the other team seems to be scoring a lot, running away, it's like timeout, reset. Okay, timeout. Let's step out of the game, take a breath, look at the game plan again. You might need to make some adjustments. Take players out and let them rest. Even in a boxing match where people are just slugging it out at each other, it only goes on for so many minutes. The round is only so many minutes. And then they stop and they go to their respective corners to just breathe and to reset. Okay. Not only is it okay to do that, but you have to do it. You have to do it. But here's the difference. It's an and. Where, yes, we need to take a breath, a timeout, reset, but our intention has to be to get back in the game. Okay? Our intention has to be to keep living, to keep loving, to keep having a career, to keep relating to people. When we reset, sometimes we can retreat so deeply that we completely disconnect. And then in that disconnect, it kind of like this little cubby hole that we stay in. So we have to be able to feel our feelings, but not wallow. Okay, not wallow. Feel our feelings, feel the loss or whatever that is, but don't let it define us. Don't let it define you. You have to have the intent. The intent. You may not have the energy. Okay? You may not have the stamina. You may not even have the desire at that moment to get back up, to get back in the game, to love again, but just the intent. If you don't, then you stay on what we call the triangle, the victim, villain, hero triangle, where you feel like you're a victim. And there'll be all these things out there that are the villain. If we wallow too much, it gets us in a sense of disempowerment. That's what I'm saying. Disempowerment. When you're really resetting, what you know is that you are getting your energy back for you to be able to rise again. If you're just wallowing in it, if all you're doing is thinking about how bad it is and who done what to you and how there's no way out or the rest of that, you don't come out on the other side stronger. It starts to become this self-fulfilling prophecy of never being able to get over it. As it says in scripture, weeping may endure through the night, but joy cometh in the morning. This is how life is. At Inner Light, we always talk about according with life. According with life. No matter what it is in nature, it's being fully present with what it is, and it's also preparing for what's next simultaneously. The darkest hour is right before the dawn. So the dark hour is being the dark hour, and yet it will give way to the dawn. Right now, we're in the fall, this in between of the summer and the winter. So the leaves and things, they're falling, the changes, the weather, maybe start getting more rain, whatever that is for your, locale. It's being the fall, but it's also preparing for the winter. Okay. And when we're in the winter is also preparing for the spring. It knows that it's not going to stay that way. Whatever is going on, it's not going to stay that way. The mother hen that's sitting on the egg, taking full care of the egg, but also preparing and knowing that the chicken side's going to hatch. They're not just going to be sitting on that egg forever. Such it is with our lives. Such it is with our lives. Our lives are continuous. It may not always turn out the way that you thought that it would. What these so-called setbacks do is sometimes they shift our trajectory. So we wind up moving in slightly a different direction. But what I do know are two things. One, there is divine order. There is right action. That no matter what happens, God is God. Elections aren't God. Political parties aren't God. Doctors aren't God. The IRS isn't God. Your partner's not God. Your job's not God. Your money's not God. God is God. God is God. There is something bigger and greater than all of that. And our charge when we reset is to identify more with our Creator, with our soul, with our essence, with our inner strength to identify with that more than we do the outer problems. When we're in the reset, we get into the in it, but not of it mentality. I'm in this circumstance, There's all these things that are going on, but I'm greater than this. I'm more than it. It doesn't have the last word. It doesn't define me. Okay, just breathe that in for a moment. The reset. This is going to be true regardless of whatever the setback is, whether it's in your personal life, your professional life, the political life, your health. It doesn't matter. There's a certain way that we always have to get back to center, that we have to recalibrate. We got to get back on track. We have to tune in again. Let our eye be single. We get focused on the external, and the setbacks are always in the external. And we have to come back to the internal. Okay, just breathe this in for a moment. Breathe this in. So one of the things that we do with the reset is we breathe. Okay, we get back to our center. The other thing that happens in the reset is that we have to maintain our vision. Pain pushes until vision pulls. When we're in the setbacks, we have a tendency to just want to give up or give in. Throw up our hands. I tried, it didn't work. I'm too hurt. I'm disillusioned. But part of that reset is going beyond the circumstances and the conditions to the underlying essence. You hear me talk about this all the time. We throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, this relationship didn't work, so now I want to give up on love, or I don't trust love. The election didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, so now I'm giving up on the political arena. I'm giving up on my ideals that I've had. No. Part of the reset is to hold firm. If you are, let's say you have cancer and you were in remission, then things started to go the other way, and you're getting these reports from your doctor. That's not the time to give up on the vision of being healthy. That's not the time. You may not physically be able to do anything, but lay there in bed. Maybe the chemotherapy or whatever, the radiation treatment is just knocking you out. But what's going on up here? While you're laying in the bed, what are you thinking about? Are you playing out all the doomsday scenarios of what could possibly happen here with the cancer and how bad it can be? Or are you, even in the midst of the doctor's report, saying to yourself, I am healed, I am whole, I am healthy? See what I'm saying? Even in the midst of it, you don't wait until you're cancer free to declare that you're cancer free. You declare that you're cancer free in the middle of the diagnosis. That's when you do it. You keep doing it so that even in the midst of it, you're still holding on to something. Everything within you, your whole inner being, is responding to that. So in spite of everything that's going on, you keep resetting to the vibration of health. Listen to what I'm saying. You keep resetting to that. You don't reset to disease. You don't reset to illness. No, 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 no. You something in the financial realm. You don't reset to lack or limitation, even though that may be what you're going through in the moment. But you keep resetting to abundance, to prosperity, to sustenance, to sustainability. That's where you want to recalibrate. That's the picture of yourself that you want to hold in your mind. It's the same thing in our political arena. It's the same thing. When there's a setback, that is not the time to give up the vision. It's not the time. I don't want to make this a whole political sermon. I'll be putting some other stuff out about that. But I do want to say this. As I was talking a moment ago about the difference between the essence and a way it might be expressing, like you have the love and then there's a relationship. And just because the relationship is faltering or fails doesn't mean that love has. Okay? Just because that job or that business isn't working doesn't mean that all of your prosperity has suddenly gone out the window. It just means it's not coming through quite that way. That there's some adjustments or whatnot that need to happen in the outer realm so that you can still experience what you know to be true at the most ideal level. It's the same thing. We convolute a democracy and the republic. Okay. So the republic is to the democracy what a relationship is to love. The democracy is the ideal. It is the ideal of vision of possibility. Specifically, it's the vision of the possibility of where the people can govern themselves. That's what a democracy is. Now, a republic is a particular form of democracy. A republic revolves around representatives. Okay? So that the people in the democracy choose representatives to do things and whatnot, like on their behalf. Now, I grant you, we got a lot of problems with this republic. From the very beginning, when slaves were being counted as 3/5 of a person, to give their slave owners more say in the House of Representatives, more representation in the House of Representatives, the Electoral College and all that. We got some real problems with the republic. And what we're seeing now is frustrations on all sides. Frustrations on all sides about the republic and how it's not working. But we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because people are frustrated with the republic, they're giving up on democracy. They're allowing democracy to be collateral damage over their frustrations with the republic. We can't do that collectively any more than we can do that individually. Don't give up on health and vitality because you're frustrated with the illnesses that you've had. Don't give up on love because you're disappointed in the relationships that you've had. Let us not give up. It means a reset. Listen to what I'm saying. We need to reset some things in the Republic. But we won't do it if we have checked out on the whole idea of the democracy. So just take a breath. Okay? I'm not even gonna this early in it, I'm not even gonna talk about all the oneness and all that other stuff. That'll be next week and like the weeks after. For right now, what I'm asking you is put a tourniquet on it. Okay. Whatever your pain, whatever your grief, to feel it, don't bleed out. Don't let it swallow you, overwhelm you. Take care of yourself. Step back for a moment. Maybe you just chill out for a little bit. Give yourself a chance to rejuvenate. Okay? And just keep your eye on the prize. Don't get so discouraged by the things that you see that you stop believing in possibility. I'm not asking you to do anything about it. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's go to prayer. Keep taking deep breath. We breathe in the goodness. We breathe out the angst. We fill our cups up with joy, with awareness and aliveness. And we let go any stuck energies. Just as with our body temples, we ingest, we digest, we assimilate, and we eliminate. We don't hold on to everything that we ingest. And such as it is with us mentally, emotionally, psychologically, energetically. We take things in, utilize everything that's worthy, and then we have to let some stuff go. We will not be emotionally constipated. Energetically stifled. Oh no. Mother, Father, God, create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us. There's a flow. You can never step into the same river twice, because the river is always shifting and we're never the same person. So we look out and we know that in spite of all appearances, God is being God. Just as we have come out of crises and setbacks time and time again, individually and collectively. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. I declare in this moment victory. That love wins. That hope wins. That truth and justice and equality and liberty and freedom, that they win. Regardless of what it looks like, it's never a straight line. Progress is kind of a cha-cha, a couple of steps forward, some back. But it keeps bending. Like that arc of the moral universe. It bends towards justice. And we keep leaning into that. As I speak this word right now, I speak the word for the tenderness of our heart. For our willingness to stay connected to the divine. All needs met. All needs met. So I give thanks, Mother, Father, God, for the encouragement. I give thanks for the upliftment. For the balm that divine love is in our lives. I speak a word for divine order and right action everywhere. That the wars cease. That the bombs stop. That life and humanity is respected. That there's room enough for all of us to live our fullest lives. Not being divided by our differences, but celebrating a common humanity. I speak a word. I speak a word for all of those experiencing hardships of whatever kind. Fires, famine, wars, floods, hurricanes, displacement, illness and disease, discordant relationship, electoral upsets, all of that. And I know that our God is an awesome God. Not only in the middle of all those things, but all of that is happening on the stage of the divine. Divine order. All needs met. This is the prayer. Divine order. All needs met. There's health in our body temple. Those financial needs being met. The relationships having reconciliation. The opportunities and the doors for those opening up. Divine right residence and housing. Divine right companionship. Divine right sustenance. Financial stability. And on and on. This is the word spoken. We know that it's already done. We just get out of the way and allow it to be in every fiber of our being. And as we breathe that in, I want to invite you. I want to invite you to reach out to our prayer ministry. Whatever the circumstance, whatever the condition may be, the numbers will be scrolling across your screen. We have prayer practitioners ready, willing, able, trained. And I know as we go into the winter and the fall and the holiday season, so much comes up for us. So much. You don't have to do it alone. You can reach us at 831-465-9090 at extension 254. Or you can send us an email. The number 4, the word prayer, at innerlightministries.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We just keep taking a breath. Keep taking a breath. Yes, we invite you to be a part of the spiritual community. You can find out the things that are going on by checking out our calendar. Some are virtual, some are in person, some are combinations of both. And given everything that's been going on in the elections, given the holidays that are coming up, the last of my fall workshop series is going to be starting on this Thursday. This Thursday, you'll see appearing on your screen, there's a QR code, and you can use that QR code. That'll take you to the right spot. There's also a tiny URL, fall workshops, RevD. You can input that in your browser. The last workshop that starts on Thursday is relationship rejuvenation. Timed specifically right now, knowing it will be after the election, right before Thanksgiving. It ends mid-December, before we get into the holidays. So much has gone on. So much has gone on. And it is time for some self-care and relationship repair. So I invite you to check that out and to join us on this coming Thursday. Thank you. Thank you. This is our time of divine circulation, of conscious giving. This is where we say thank you to the universe for all of our blessings. And we have a chance to support each other here and to support the ministry and all of the works that we're doing. You'll see on your screen, there are some portals and there's some different ways that you can do that. There's a QR code there that will take you to a place where you can use a debit card, credit card. You can use PayPal. There's also the option to do recurring donations. You'll see there's a text to give as well. There's a phone number there, 831-231-0065. You can just go there, follow the prompts, you put in your dollar amount. And once you put in the information that you have, you can use credit card, debit card. It can come straight out of a bank account. Once you put that in and create an account with us, all you'll ever have to do in the future is just text that number and put a dollar amount. Just quick, easy. You won't have to do anything else. You also have a chance to do recurring giving there. All of it's very, very, very secure sites. There's Cash App. There's also the website. You can go to our website and do the donate buttons there. But know that regardless of the methodology, that all of it is cleansed, it is purified, money is circulating wherever it has been before, and for whatever purpose it is all be used. When we circulate it to divine intentions, it gets purified, like when we bless water and the medicinal properties come out in the water, where we experience it as medicine, like after it's been blessed. Well, so it is with our money. So it is with our money. And we want to say thank you. Thank you. And I invite you to repeat after me. My every act produces abundance. I dare to give freely unto the truth that sets us free. I release this gift, knowing it returns to me 1,000-fold. Yes. And remember, you are blessed. You are blessed. It's a circulation. Okay. The generosity that you give returns to you. Your generosity returns to you. And we just breathe that in. And as always, remind you, come back, look at the affirmations, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate the support. Keep breathing. Okay. I know this is a tough moment in history. Keep breathing. Share this with others. You know our motto: take this consciousness and multiply it. See you next time.